Alrighty guys, we're back with another tutorial, man. This is a taper, a really low taper, it's the real low taper. So let me know what y'all think. The editing and stuff, cause I really try to go all out on this one. It was a little bit long, so I had to shorten it up with some editing. Let me know what y'all think, right? So the first step y'all want to do, right, is y'all want to set in. Well, the first steps that I do is I set in the guidelines. That way I have like a really good foundation where I want the fades to be placed. And once I know where I want them to be, that's when I get like a good visual of it and everything. Then what I do is I take my guard, my 1.5 guard, and I go up about 2 inches, give myself some space to fade. Then I got my 2, go up another inch. Then I get my 3, and I go up about another inch. And this is just to make sure I fade into the top, to leave no lines or anything like that. And you just gotta shape it to the longness of the hair. Then what I do is I get my 1.5 guard, right? I get my half guard. I get, what am I saying? I get my, the seniors, no guard, and I just make a guideline about 1 inch. I fade it out. And then I get my 1 guard. I make a guideline about 1 inch. I close it. Then I go underneath it and I start trying to take out the line. Then I get my seniors with no guard all the way open, and I really flick at that line. That's right on there. Then I move to the back and I take the exact same steps. I get the 1.5. I make myself a good space to blend in. You don't want to make this too small. It's better that you make it wide, that way you give yourself like a good amount of space to blend in. And you don't want to take it too high either when you're doing it. I didn't want to take it too high either when I was doing this haircut, because what the client wanted was the hair on top to be long enough to be combed and to be cut with scissors. And in order for me to cut it with scissors, I needs to be like long enough to be combed. I don't know how to explain it to you guys. Hopefully you guys understand me. But I have my seniors, no guard, and I have it all the way open. Then I close it and I slowly open it going up to erase the line. In some areas, the hair grows in different directions, so you're gonna have to move the clipper and hold it in a different direction to get all the hairs. Then I got my 1 guard. I opened it all the way up, and I made myself another guideline about 1 inch. Then I closed it, and then I go under that halfway of the guideline that I just made. Then I get my seniors again, all the way open, no guard, and I try to buff out that line. And the way I do it is I hold it a little bit sideways, trying to only use the corner of the blade, and I don't go too high. I just like lightly touch it, lightly feather it out. Hold it really sideways. That way you only use a little bit of the blades. You don't use all of it. Here I'm on the other side of the taper, on the other side, and the same steps all over again. I got the 1.5 all the way open. Make yourself a wide enough space to blend in. Don't make it too short. It's better to make it wider. Then you get your clipper, no guard, all the way open. You close it, and then you go up on a little bit, close it, go up a little bit. Open it, go up a little bit, open it more, go up a little bit more, until you get to the guideline that you just made. And that should blend out the bottom of it. And if it doesn't, just make sure you just play with the lever, go up and down, take off the little dark spots and everything. Then you get your one guard all the way open, and you make yourself another little area about 1 inch. Then you close it, and you take off like a little bit under. Then you get your 2 guard. Here I got my 2 guard, right? And what I'm doing is I'm trying to sculpt the hair. The reason I use the word sculpt is because you're kind of shaping the head into the shape that you want it to be. In this particular haircut, I didn't want it to be like a bow haircut. Some clients like it like that. He didn't want it like this in this particular cut, so I did not do that. So just make sure you guys get the shape right, sculpt it to the right shape that the client wants. Make sure you guys do a real nice talk before you start the haircut. Make sure you get all his needs met, because that's what's gonna get your money in your pocket, and that's what's gonna get you returning clients. And here I'm just making sure I go all over everywhere, all over the sides, behind the ears. That way when I line it up, it's sharp, because the hair is not too long and it's not bothering, Just go up and try to get the shape. Go up straight off the head. You gotta imagine it like a box. Like if it was a wall, you're going straight. You don't want it to be round. Alright, so make sure that you're looking at it from all angles, from the sides, from the front. Make sure that when you're going up with the clipper, you don't go round with the head. Alright, now I've never done a scissor tutorial on my channel, but here's what I got for this video. This is not in full detail about what I do, but it's gonna show you some steps that I take. So if y'all want a full in detail video about only the hair cutting part with the scissors, put it in the comments down below, and I will surely make that video. Yeah. So the first thing I do is I take a section down the middle, and I go all the way up to the front. And the way you want to keep your section is when you're pulling it up, make sure you keep it really tight, because if you're not pulling it tight, the hair is gonna be real loose and it's not gonna get all the hairs. So make sure you pull it real tight, that way you could see it. And then once you do that, you go to the back and you still go down the middle, but this time you go like not horizontally, but like in a different direction, like side to side instead of front to back. And you're just going straight forward. And what you could do is with the scissors, you can move the hair back, and then you could see your previous guide. That way you never lose your guide, and you're always on the same line. You're always cutting the same lengths, and you never lose your line, you never lose your guide. Make sure you pull tight, and you move the hair with the scissors so you can see where you're at exactly. Make sure you cross check. So the way I cross check is I go sideways, like I go diagonally across the head. And that makes it a good cross check. That way, if you missed any hairs, you get them. And make sure you always go back. You always want to be a perfectionist. Always want to get everything right, because that's what the clients are paying for. You know, if they're paying more money, they better be getting more. And here I just saw some stuff that I wanted to put some detail work in. And this is where the real haircut comes in. In the detail part, this is where the real haircut gets done. The clients, or the barbers, I mean, that pay attention to the details are the barbers that get the best haircuts, because that's the detail work is where the real haircut gets done. Anybody can do a haircut, but if you can do good detail work, that's gonna separate you from another barber, you know, because you take that extra step, you take that extra time to make sure that your haircuts are right with every single detail. And your clients will notice that, and they will come back, you know. They will love that. They will like that. They will like that as an experience and everything. So yeah, make sure you guys always look into the details. Always take your time with the details. You cutting with scissor over comb, try to not move the bottom blade. The bottom blade has to stay still. Notice how I'm only moving my thumb while cutting, and only the top blade moves, and the bottom blade stays still. Notice that. That is what you guys have to learn. And in order to learn that, I will drop a video that will give you guys some exercises on how to get that muscle memory even quicker than through haircuts, you know, because you don't always have a haircut to be cutting, but you could always be getting that muscle memory. In this step, what I'm doing is I'm spraying the hairline around the ears and on the back. That way it is stiff, and when I go in it with the liners, it does not move. It just stays still, and it comes right off, and it looks real nice and sharp, real clean, real sharp. Alright. What I did with this haircut was I started on the sides, alright? And that's usually what I do with my tapers. I start in the temple area, the hook little part, and I make sure I get that real nice and clean. And I use the corners, and I only use the corners. That way it really gets it there, because if you use too much of it, it might accidentally cut it. Alright, you pull the ear, and you get the back hairs. The lineup, that area is very important, because if you don't get that, it looks dirty, and another person can notice it. Your client might not be able to notice it, but somebody else will. And the way you do it here is you hold the clipper sideways, not like you're lining it up or like you're creating a line, but sideways. Alright, and for the neckline, you just gotta look at where the natural line should be. You could usually tell where there's like a natural line, and what you do is you just make it even sharper and better. That way you're not pushing them back, you're not doing any of that stuff, you're just creating a nice sharp line. And here I just saw a little stuff that I had to get. You know, always be paying attention to the details. Like I said, I can't stress that enough. Details are like the most important thing during a barber haircut. Like, you know, that's gonna make you or break you in a haircut. The details. Always pay attention to the details. Every single little hair counts. And like I said, in that hook area, in that lineup part, only use the corners, guys, because if you use more, you're gonna mess them up. Use the corners and move the clipper side to side. Sometimes it doesn't want to cut, you know, but that's because you're not getting it at the right angle. Angles matter a lot during a haircut, you know, it's not just in math. but angles matter a lot. The way you hold the clipper depends on how the haircut looks, you know. And there's always time to work on your craft. So always work on your craft. Never make excuses to slack off. You know, there's no time to slack off when you're trying to be the best, because there's a lot of other barbers trying to be the best. So if you want to be the best, you gotta not slack off. You gotta put in that extra work. You gotta work overtime. Sometimes you gotta work extra, because that's the only way. That's the only way to get better. That's the only way to be the best. And if that's what you're trying to do, overtime is your best friend. All right. For the lineup, what my client wanted was, he wanted me to take off the bulk. And the way you guys do this is you just put in the comb, right? And whatever sticks out, you cut it off. And you don't just want to do that. It's not as simple as that. You know, you want to make it a little bit round, so that it doesn't look like like it's going straight up if you were to look at it from the side view. All right, so keep that in mind. And if you're having trouble with some stuff, just take your time. Look at the bigger picture, you know, just take a look back, take a step back, look at it from farther away. Just recoup yourself, you know, always take your time, never rush it. If you're having trouble, take your time. Take it little by little, step by step, you know. Notice how if I wouldn't have done this part, his hairline would not have been able to show as crisply as it does now, you know. The way I do my hairlines is I start in the middle, right? Usually I pick a side that I want to go to first, but first I make a line in the middle. That way I have a reference to like not go too high on the sides. Because if you start on the side, you might go too high on the other side. But if you start in the middle, you'll have like a perfect reference to not pass, you know. And sometimes you might need to retouch some parts, you know, to connect it. But always take your time and everything. This part right here, you just hold the clipper sideways and you go to it. You don't touch it, you don't tap it, you go to it. Like you slide it on the skin to the line, you know. Always go over it multiple times, like just tap it, because some hairs are stubborn, you know. So you gotta get them again by tapping in. Once you got one side done, you got a real good reference of how to do it. You just have to use your barber eye, take a look back, make sure you're doing it right. Tap. Don't take off too much. Little by little works, you know. Little by little makes the dream work. But don't go taking off too much. If you take off too much, it's not gonna be good at the end. Here I had like a little trouble at the corner. I don't know if y'all could see. There was like a little thing that I just took off. And this is where like when I mean the details. I could have just left it like this and it would have looked pretty good. But I decided to get my scissor and just go in there and just make everything look nice and crispy. Because if you do that, your client will notice that you did that and not just did it with the clipper, you know. Always take your time. Always focus on the details, man. The little details. I don't even know how many times I said details. in this video. But if you know how many times I said details, do me a favor, count and put in the comments so I can know. But I must have said it like 1,000 times, because that's literally the most important thing. If you could get anything from this video, is focus on the details. Focus on the details even more than the actual haircut, you know. But here I got my little blade, and I use dry shave. I mean, yeah, I don't put water or any of that. I just simply leave it like that, dry. And the reason I do that is because the line, I feel like it comes out more clean, because when it's wet, the hair is like damp, and it lays down differently than it would when it was dry. So that way it gives me a clearer image, and it's not as messy, you know. Not that with water or with shaving gel it's messy, but it's not how the hair would be dry, you know. Here I go behind the client and I shave against the grain. It's always important to shave against the grain and not just down, because if you shave against the grain, you get a lot closer. If you don't understand any of these terms that I'm saying, like against the grain and stuff like that, put it down in the comments. I'll make a video on it. Tell me, yo, can you make a video on this, Benny? And I for sure I got you. Just ask, man. Don't be afraid to ask. That's what the comment section is there for, you know. And here I saw another little thing, more details that I needed to get, you know. And it's always 100 to get the details. Never be afraid, man. Never be afraid. Details matter. Alright, they always matter. Crispy clean cut is what he's gonna get, because I worry about the details, you know. Here I'm back again with the razor. This time I'm going around the ear, and make sure you pull the skin up in the ear part. And once you start going more behind the ear, you want to spread it with your thumb and your pointer finger. That way you could stretch the skin and move the ear out of the way. Alright, and once you're starting to go towards the neckline, I like getting on the opposite side of the side that I'm working with and work that way, because that way I could go against the grain and not just with the grain, you know. Here's the other side, and it's the same thing. You want to pull with your thumb and your pointer finger. And for the neckline, you want to go to the other side and work against the grain, because if you could do it on the other side, but it'll be with the grain, you know. And it won't get it as close. With the against the grain gets it a lot closer than with the grain. So you want to go with the grain on a neckline, go on the other side, right? Alright, so let me know what y'all think. This is what the cut looks like. I think it looks dope. I think it looks perfect. I think it looks nice. Let me know what you guys think. It's a real low taper. Here, that right there is a tuft in the back, so that's why it looks like the hair's up. It's not because I messed him up. It's he just had a tuft there, and you know how that is. I got my guy right, you know. This is the cut, man. It looks blurry. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comments. Like I said, make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe. Go to my wall peanut review, share it with your friends. It just reached 700 views. Help reach 1,000 views on that video. That would be awesome, guys. But this is gonna be it for this one. Let me know what y'all think. It's your boy Benny Talks to Barber, you know, and I'm out, guys.